3 techniques that can save your life during a heart attack. My uncle survived. You find yourself utterly alone in your home, and without warning, an unbearable, crushing pain grips your chest with the force of an iron fist. It's a sensation that steals your breath, making every inhalation a struggle. A cold sweat breaks out, drenching your skin, as if your body is desperately trying to cool a rapidly intensifying internal inferno. In this terrifying moment, time itself seems to warp and slow down, stretching into an agonizing eternity, while simultaneously racing away from you. You find yourself paralyzed, unable to move, unable to articulate a single word, and the chilling realization hits you. There is no one nearby, no one to call out to, no one to offer help. In this harrowing instant, you have a mere 10 seconds, just 10 fleeting seconds, before your heart might give out entirely. Do you truly know what steps to take in such a dire, critical emergency? Today, I am going to share with you 3 remarkably simple, yet profoundly effective techniques, pieces of knowledge that quite literally saved the life of my Uncle Jorge, and which possess the very real potential to save yours too. This crucial understanding, this ability to react, could genuinely be the decisive factor between waking up to face another sunrise tomorrow, or tragically, never opening your eyes again. It is a stark reality, but one that demands our attention and preparation, for in these moments, knowledge truly is power, and it can be the ultimate lifeline. Just 2 short years ago, my Uncle Jorge, then a vibrant 68-year-old man, was enjoying a quiet, uneventful afternoon alone at his home. He was comfortably seated in his living room, perhaps reading a book or simply reflecting, when an unsettling pressure began to build in his chest. It started subtly, an unusual sensation, but rapidly intensified, morphing into an overwhelming weight, as if an immense elephant had suddenly decided to stand squarely on his chest, relentlessly crushing him. This was no ordinary transient discomfort. It was a profound, deeply alarming pain that instantly signaled something was terribly wrong. A cold, clammy sweat began to bead on his forehead, then streamed down his face, and the familiar contours of his living room started to blur and spin around him, threatening to pull him into a dizzying abyss. In that terrifying instant, a chilling memory resurfaced with vivid clarity, the tragic passing of his own father, my grandfather, who had succumbed to a heart attack at the age of 76. My grandfather had also been alone at home when it happened, and heartbreakingly had been afforded no opportunity whatsoever to call for help or to receive any intervention. The crushing weight on Uncle Jorge's chest was now compounded by a suffocating wave of fear, a primal terror born from the recognition of his grandfather's fate and the dreadful possibility that he might be experiencing the very same lonely end. However, despite the escalating pain and the paralyzing fear, my Uncle Jorge, a man of remarkable resilience, refused to surrender to the despair that threatened to engulf him. Thanks to invaluable lessons we had all learned from my grandfather's cardiologist, an individual who had always stressed the critical importance of immediate action, Uncle Jorge instinctively put 3 key emergency techniques into practice. By the time the ambulance, summoned with immense difficulty, finally arrived at his doorstep, my uncle was miraculously still conscious, his heart still beating, albeit precariously. That harrowing day irrevocably altered my life and the lives of every member of our family. I witnessed firsthand my loved ones teetering on the brink of yet another profound loss, and it was in that moment of raw vulnerability and eventual relief that I profoundly understood a fundamental truth. True health is not merely about diligently preventing diseases through diet and exercise. It is also, and perhaps even more critically, about being fully prepared to act decisively and effectively within mere seconds when an unforeseen crisis strikes. My Uncle Jorge embodies strength. He has always been an incredibly active man, known for his firm, unwavering hands and his calm, assured voice. Yet even this robust individual, in the quiet aftermath of his brush with death, confessed to me a deeply personal and moving experience. He described how, in the throes of the heart attack, amidst the unbearable pain and disorientation, he distinctly felt the comforting yet urgent presence of my grandfather, as if his father was gently but firmly whispering a single powerful message into his ear. No te rindas, don't give up. Seeing him in the hospital, pale but alive, surrounded by our tearful family, weeping tears not of sorrow but of profound, overwhelming relief, left an indelible mark on my soul. It solidified my conviction that these vital pieces of knowledge are not optional extras in life's curriculum. They are, unequivocally, essential, non-negotiable requirements for anyone who values life and the lives of those they cherish. The 3 techniques I'm about to share with you are not based on anecdotal evidence or conjecture. They are rigorously backed by robust scientific research and medical understanding. These techniques possess the power to buy you precious, invaluable minutes that can make all the difference between a tragic outcome and a chance at survival during what will undoubtedly be one of the most difficult and terrifying moments imaginable. Furthermore, beyond these immediate emergency responses, I will also provide you with 5 simple yet powerful daily habits. These habits, when incorporated into your routine, will serve as a proactive shield, helping to protect your heart and dramatically reduce your risk of ever facing such a crisis in the first place. The statistics surrounding heart attacks are truly sobering. According to the authoritative data from the World Health Organization, WHO, heart attacks tragically claim the lives of over 7 million people annually across the globe. This staggering number underscores the pervasive and deadly threat that cardiovascular disease poses to humanity. However, there is a powerful and hopeful counterpoint to this grim statistic. Studies consistently demonstrate that acting swiftly and decisively in the initial moments of a heart attack can dramatically increase a person's chances of survival, potentially by as much as 50%. This pivotal insight highlights the critical importance of immediate, informed intervention. It's precisely why, if you are genuinely committed to taking control of your health and arming yourself with life-saving knowledge, I urge you to subscribe to our channel right now and activate the notification bell. Because here at Saludable y Positivo, healthy and positive, we firmly believe that achieving a healthy and joyful life is not merely a matter of chance or destiny. It is a conscious, deliberate decision, a decision you actively make every single day. To truly understand why these emergency techniques are so vital, it's important to grasp what exactly happens during a heart attack. A heart attack, medically termed a myocardial infarction, occurs when the blood flow to a segment of the heart muscle becomes severely compromised or completely blocked. This blockage is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque, fat, cholesterol, and other substances in the coronary arteries, which eventually ruptures and forms a clot. When an artery, one of the crucial conduits responsible for delivering oxygen-rich blood, becomes obstructed, the vital supply of oxygenated blood to a specific area of the heart muscle is abruptly cut off. Deprived of oxygen and nutrients, the affected heart muscle cells begin to suffer damage, and within minutes, they start to die. This process, known as ischemia leading to necrosis, is irreversible. If this critical blockage is not swiftly cleared and blood flow restored, the damage to the heart muscle can become extensive, severely impairing its ability to pump blood effectively, and ultimately, in the most severe cases, the entire heart can cease to function, leading to cardiac arrest. Recognizing the key symptoms that herald the onset of a heart attack is therefore not just helpful, it is absolutely crucial for survival. These red flag indicators often manifest in distinct ways. The quintessential symptom is severe chest pain, frequently described as a crushing, squeezing, or pressure-like sensation, which alarmingly often radiates to other parts of the body, commonly extending down the left arm, though it can affect the right, up into the jaw, or across to the back. Other critical signs include sudden dizziness or a sensation of lightheadedness that can progress to fainting, a cold sweat, often profuse and clammy, appearing without any clear physical exertion, persistent nausea, sometimes accompanied by vomiting, and a marked difficulty in breathing, a sensation of shortness of breath or gasping for air, even at rest. A groundbreaking study published in 2023 by the esteemed Mayo Clinic unequivocally highlighted that the initial 5 minutes following the onset of a heart attack are unequivocally the most critical period. This narrow window represents a pivotal opportunity for intervention. If you happen to be alone when these terrifying symptoms strike, there is absolutely no margin for hesitation, no time to second-guess yourself. You must act immediately and decisively. It is profoundly important for me to clarify, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the techniques I am about to share are not, under any circumstances, intended to be a replacement for the urgent, professional medical attention provided by paramedics and emergency services. Their purpose is distinctly different but equally vital. These techniques are designed to buy you precious, invaluable minutes. They are your temporary shield, granting you critical time to maintain consciousness, allowing you the brief window to call emergency services, and most importantly, enabling your heart to continue beating, however weakly, until skilled professional help can reach you and administer definitive medical care. It was thanks to the timely application of the very first and the very last of these techniques that my Uncle Jorge is, against formidable odds, still with us today, cherishing every moment of his life and enjoying the precious company of his family. His survival is a testament to the power of preparedness and immediate action. Now, without further delay, here is the emergency protocol you can implement at home. This meticulously designed plan ingeniously combines established medical knowledge with targeted physical stimulation, creating a powerful, self-administered intervention. This protocol is specifically crafted to be something you can apply yourself, even under the most extreme and debilitating circumstances. When you are utterly alone, when the pain is so overwhelming that you cannot speak, when your heart is already struggling to sustain life, and when every second feels like an eternity. Technique 1, the strong cough. Your initial shield against crisis. This remarkably simple, yet profoundly effective technique was the very first line of defense that saved my Uncle Jorge when his heart began to fail. As the initial waves of excruciating pain and disorienting dizziness crashed over him, a clear memory from our discussions with the cardiologist surged to the forefront of his mind. The doctor's words had been unambiguous and emphatic. Tose fuerte desde el pecho con fuerza controlada. Cough strongly from the chest with controlled force. While it might appear to be an incredibly straightforward action, almost mundane, this controlled, forceful cough is, in fact, one of the most potent and accessible tools at your disposal during the critical moments when your heart begins to falter. In the throes of a heart attack, the act of coughing strongly and in a controlled, rhythmic manner can achieve several vital physiological effects. It creates a sudden, transient compression within your chest cavity, which in turn directly compresses and stimulates your heart. This physical action can, in many instances, help to normalize an erratic heart rhythm, effectively acting as a manual internal cardiac massage. It's an immediate, self-administered intervention designed to keep blood circulating and maintain vital pressure. To perform this technique correctly and maximize its life-saving potential, follow these precise steps. 1. Inhale deeply. Take a profoundly deep breath, filling your lungs as much as humanly possible. This crucial first step ensures that you have ample air to generate the necessary force. 2. Close your mouth. Seal your lips tightly. This helps to build up pressure internally before the cough is expelled. 3. Cough from the chest. With your mouth closed, execute a powerful, deep cough, originating not from your throat, but from the depths of your chest, as if you are delivering a sharp, dry punch from within. Imagine you are trying to expel a foreign object that is deeply lodged. 4. Rhythmic repetition. Perform this forceful cough every 2 seconds, consistently for a full minute. Maintaining this rhythm is paramount for continuous stimulation. In the initial moments of distress, you might find this action incredibly difficult, your body battling against the pain and weakness. However, it is absolutely crucial that you do not give up. This persistent, controlled coughing dramatically increases the intrathoracic pressure, the pressure within your chest cavity. This elevated pressure, in turn, helps to actively push blood from your chest towards your heart and, critically, up to your brain. This ensures that these vital organs continue to receive a minimum life-sustaining supply of oxygenated blood. A significant study conducted by the American Heart Association, AHA, in 2020 revealed compelling evidence that the immediate and correct application of this technique can improve survival rates by an astonishing 30%. This underscores its effectiveness as a critical first response measure. Consider the real-life example of Doña Maria, a spirited 72-year-old woman. She was busily cooking dinner in her kitchen one evening when, just like my uncle, she was suddenly struck by an intense, vice-like pain in her chest. Recalling this very technique from a health segment she had watched, she immediately began to practice it with unwavering determination while waiting for the ambulance to arrive. Her swift action made all the difference. She survived, a testament to the power of knowing what to do when seconds count. However, even with such a simple technique, there are common errors that can diminish its effectiveness. Be aware of these pitfalls. Coughing weakly. The cough must be intense, explosive, and delivered with conviction, as if you are trying to dislodge something severely stuck in your windpipe, not just a polite clearing of the throat. Failing to inhale. First, neglecting the deep inhalation before coughing will significantly reduce the force and effectiveness of the cough. Not maintaining rhythm. The consistent, every 2 seconds rhythm is vital for continuous cardiac stimulation. Sporadic or irregular coughing will not yield the same benefits. For optimal preparedness, a recommended practice is to integrate this into your routine. Once a week, take a moment to sit quietly, take a deep breath, and practice coughing strongly 5 times, focusing on the correct technique. A 2021 study published in Preventative Cardiology explicitly suggests that weekly practice helps to ingrain the movement into muscle memory, making it an automatic response in an emergency. However, pay very close attention to this crucial caveat. This technique is most effective and often only works when applied at the very onset of symptoms and critically while you are still conscious and capable of executing the cough with sufficient force. If the pain becomes too overwhelming, too debilitating, and you find yourself unable to cough effectively, it is then time to move immediately to the next technique without any further delay. But before we delve into that, if you are finding this video informative and potentially life-saving, please take a moment to comment below. Did you already know about this technique? And most importantly, subscribe to Saludable Y Positivo for more invaluable, life-saving advice. Technique 2, the chest punch, an emergency reboot. If the vigorous cough, despite your best efforts, proves insufficient to alleviate the escalating crisis, or if the pain is so overwhelming that you cannot effectively perform it, then this second technique becomes your immediate and most potent alternative. The chest punch is a direct and forceful intervention designed to deliver a powerful physical impact to the heart, effectively acting as a form of self-defibrillation, but with your own hands. This technique is typically employed when the chest pain has become so excruciating and debilitating that it almost completely incapacitates your ability to breathe, signaling a critical worsening of your condition. Let me share the compelling story of Don Sergio, a 72-year-old man who experienced this firsthand. One night, he awoke abruptly, gasping for air, seized by an agonizing, crushing pain in his chest and an overwhelming sense of dizziness that threatened to pull him into unconsciousness. In that desperate moment, a fragmented memory of this very technique, perhaps from a health program or a conversation, flashed through his mind. Gathering every ounce of his dwindling strength, he instinctively closed his fist tightly. With the last vestiges of his resolve, he struck his chest forcefully once. The pain was still there. He struck again with renewed effort. Still no profound change. But on his third attempt, he focused all his remaining energy into the strike, and as his fist connected, he felt a powerful, visceral jolt reverberate through his chest, a sensation he later described as though his heart, which had been winding down, had suddenly woken up, jolted back to life. He vividly recounted it as being akin to striking a sputtering engine that was about to die and making it roar back to life. This sudden jolt provided him with the crucial window of clarity and strength he needed to reach for his phone and call emergency services. Thanks to his swift, self-administered intervention, the paramedics arrived to find him conscious and coherent, enabling them to provide timely and effective professional care. Here's how to perform this potentially life-saving technique correctly and safely. 1. Form a firm fist. Curl your hand into a tight, firm fist. The solidity of your fist is important for delivering an effective impact. 2. Locate the target. Precisely locate the center of your chest. This crucial spot lies exactly between your nipples. It is vital to avoid striking too high towards your neck or too low towards your stomach, as incorrect placement can be ineffective or even harmful. 3. Use the correct part of your fist. The impact should be delivered with the fleshy, lower side of your fist, specifically the area where your little finger is located. This part of the fist is less likely to cause superficial injury while still delivering a firm impact. 4. Deliver a dry, downward strike. With your fist in the correct position, deliver a sharp, dry, downward strike to the identified spot. The motion should be concise and direct. 5. Rhythm and repetition. Execute this strike approximately once per second, performing it a total of 5 to 6 times. The rhythmic, controlled repetition is key. The effectiveness of this technique is significantly amplified if it is applied within the first 3 minutes of the onset of severe symptoms. This early intervention can capitalize on the heart's immediate vulnerability to external stimuli. A peer-reviewed study published in the Journal of Cardiology in 2020 provided strong evidence confirming that a well-executed chest punch can, in certain specific cases of cardiac arrhythmia, irregular heartbeats, help to reset the heart's rhythm. The underlying mechanism by which this technique functions is rooted in the heart's electrical system, specifically in the precise area of the chest where the impact is directed. A vital pathway of the heart's electrical conduction system passes. The sudden, localized physical shock from the chest punch acts as a kind of percussive defibrillation, creating a brief but intense electrical reset for this system. This reboot can, in favorable circumstances, stimulate the heart to resume beating with renewed strength and a more regular, life-sustaining rhythm. However, despite its potential life-saving benefits, it is absolutely crucial to approach this technique with specific precautions to avoid causing further harm. Avoid brute force. While the strike needs to be firm and decisive, it should not be applied with uncontrolled, excessive brute force. The goal is to stimulate, not to injure. Exercise. Caution with fractures. If you are aware of any existing rib fractures or other skeletal vulnerabilities in your chest area, this technique should be avoided or approached with extreme caution, as it could exacerbate the injury. Precise targeting. Never strike too high towards the neck, as this could damage delicate structures, nor too low towards the abdomen, which would be ineffective and potentially harmful to internal organs. Limit repetitions. Crucially, do not strike more than 6 times. Excessive repetitions increase the risk of causing significant internal injuries without providing additional benefit. An article from 2022 in the journal Medical Emergencies strongly recommends that this technique should only be attempted if you are absolutely certain of the correct target area for the strike and, critically, if you are actively beginning to lose consciousness. This emphasizes its use as a last resort, desperate measure. If you are finding these techniques to be useful and potentially life-saving, I would be incredibly grateful if you could show your support by leaving a like on this video, and even more importantly, sharing it widely with your family and friends. By doing so, you can help us reach a much broader audience, and you truly never know whose life this vital information might ultimately save. Technique 3, the EGU point, calming and oxygenating in crisis. This ancient, almost forgotten, yet profoundly effective technique was the one that ultimately helped to stabilize my Uncle Jorge during the critical phase of his heart attack, providing him with a much-needed sense of calm and better oxygenation when he was still conscious but struggling immensely. This remarkable method originates from the rich tapestry of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, a system of healing practices developed over thousands of years. What is truly fascinating about the EGU point is that despite its ancient origins, it has garnered significant attention and has been rigorously studied and validated by modern medical professionals and researchers in recent years. Its effectiveness extends beyond immediate cardiac events. It can also be an invaluable self-help tool when you